Hello and welcome to the 22nd day of June 2023. My name is Cyril Aloysius and I'm saying a big thank you to you for joining us on another interesting episode of the newspaper review here on SAF TV. I'm not alone, I have Mr. Victor Sioku by my side, who together we're going to be talking about headlines in different papers across the nation. Sir, you're welcome.
Thank you.
How do you do?
I'm all right, and how about you?
I'm good. So what do you have to say concerning the fact that for the past since this month, it's all been rainy, and all of a sudden today we're experiencing, a rare sight of sunshine. So how does this make you feel?
It is the weather. It is this time, so let's enjoy it. Because in some climes they are asking for this kind of sun. Some persons are out there taking the sun and praying that the sun still stays there. So for us in Nigeria, we just have to thank God. And mind you, some places in River State are already experiencing flooding. So we need this sun to take all these waters up to the sky. So It's a good thing.
Okay, to begin today's episode, we'll be looking first at the Daily Sun newspaper for some interesting headlines. And just before I go straight into the headlines, please, if you're yet to subscribe to this channel, do so, and of course follow us on our different social media platforms. And you can also be a part of this discussion, okay? So while we are talking and you feel you want to contribute or anything, you could reach out to us in the comment section of this post. All right. So the news here on page 6 of the Daily Sun says appointment seekers intensify lobby. Follow Tinubu abroad. Appointment seekers intensify lobby. Follow Tinubu abroad. Seek place in cabinet. Parastatal boards. Okay, more details of this headline is on page 6 of Daily Sun newspaper. And still on page 6 we have 190 applicants jostle for PTDF overseas scholarship in Southeast. 190 applicants jostle for PTDF overseas scholarship in Southeast. Okay, that's on page 6 of Daily Sun newspaper. And on page 8 we have Imo government tells gets ultimatum to implement white paper indicting Okorocha. Imo government gets ultimatum to implement white paper indicting Okorocha. That's on page 8. And on page 26 we have fuel subsidy removal. Fuel subsidy removal good for investments according to British envoy. Fuel subsidy removal good for investments according to British envoy. President to push for foreign direct investment with world leaders. Okay, that story is on page 26. And on page 27, this one says, strengthening families. Participants laud Latter-day Saints for organizing conference. Strengthening families. Participants laud Latter-day Saints for organizing conference. Okay, that's on page 27. And on page 2, this one says, cost of international flights to increase by 20% over Naira depreciation, according to IATA. Cost of international flights to increase by 20% over Naira depreciation. That's according to IATA on page 2 of the Daily Sun newspaper. And on page 4, we have Egbetokun assumes office as IGP. Calls for synergy. Egbetokun assumes office as IGP, calls for synergy. That's on page 4. And on page 26 we have change of service chiefs. Afenifere expresses optimism of better security. Change of service chiefs. Afenifere expresses optimism of better security. That's on page 26 of the Daily Sun. And lastly, in Daily Sun for today we have on page 27, this one says IPOB Kanu's counsel Ozekome Ejiofor not sacked. Okay, that's on page 27 of Daily Sun newspaper. That's the much you can take in Daily Sun newspaper. Mr. Victor Sioku, please let me get your thoughts on the story here on page 4 that talks about Egbetokun assuming office as Inspector General of Police, as calling for synergy. How do you react to this headline?
Yeah, so on Monday there was a change of guards, okay, from Usman Baba to Kayode Agbetokun. So if you go out there and ask Nigerians how do they feel about this change of guards in the police, in the hands of leadership in the police, I don't think that Nigerians are really even interested. And if you ask me why, I'd be like, because of the problems that have embraced the police. And what are these problems? Nigerians don't give respect any longer. I don't know whether they gave respect back in those days, but Nigerians don't give respect to the police, and that is why such
Why
news
do you
like
think
this.
that is?
Oh, why Nigerians don't give respect to the police is because of number one, Nigerians don't see them as good people because they see them as corrupt people. And how do they play this out? Because when you go to police stations, when first of all they tell you they
Police
put up
is your
a
friend.
oh
Police
God,
is your friend.
they put up a big signboard. They say police is your friend. And on the other side, they also put up a big
Bail is
signboard.
free.
I say, come on.
Bail is
I say
free.
bail is free. When it's
But is bail really free?
oh come on, you know now. No matter what you go to do to the police,
It's never free.
nothing is free.
Even in Freetown.
Nothing is free in Nigerian police. Once you go there, whether you want to report a matter, you will pay. Whether they are reporting you, you will pay.
Okay.
That you want to go and you are reporting for crime happening somewhere, they ask you for fuel money. So it makes people not to respect them. And look at this police IG. People are not even, they don't even give a damn. But yeah, by his profile, I think he's coming with a lot. But the question now is hope the bad water is not have not been sprinkled on him, because he's coming with so much wealth of experience, mind you. A police officer that is well educated. He has a degree in mathematics, first degree in mathematics, masters in engineering analysis and business analysis and business management, and also a PhD in peace and one of these humanities courses that he did in I think in Kwara State.
Okay.
So
did
further
he-
that,
sorry for cutting you, but of all his academic qualifications, are there any one that has to do with him, studying or reading anything that has to do with security?
yes,
Because Nigeria has a problem.
yes.
Especially
His PhD, his-
appointing people who have nothing to do with the office for which they are appointed.
no, sure, mind you, he has been a policeman. That has been his career.
Okay.
But in 1964, and after his first degree, he joined the police. He
That
has
should
been
give
a
him an
policeman.
experience,
So
alright?
he's been there for years.
He's got through the ranks.
Yes, even Usman Baba was he was his direct boss. Okay, as in Usman was boss to Kayode. Okay, so they've been there. He was head of a DIG in Abuja. Okay, he was a commissioner in Kwara State. As in, he's been there, deputy IG of police. Okay, he's been there, and like you mentioned about his academic qualification, does it also show the training
Yes.
that he needs? Yeah, he has a PhD in peace and society, blah blah blah. Okay, but mind you, he must have passed through several trainings and programs as a policeman. That I am so sure about. Okay, but we also need to talk about how is he going to reform the police, because the police needs so much reformation.
Very good. I
What-
was coming to that actually.
Okay, what happened during the NSAS? Yes, people were like Nigerians are against the police, but no, the points that were sent out, the demands that were sent out by the youth were just also for the police to be catered for, the police to look nice, the police to live in decent environment. Look at the barracks. The barracks will tell you, the police barracks will tell you what is happening in the police system. Okay, most policemen too, especially the lower cadred police officers, they lack training. Okay, they talk to people anyhow.
Yes.
Okay, they don't care. They go on the road and collect bribes. They don't care whether you are videoing them or not. Okay, these are issues that we're talking about. Yes, in terms of also fighting crime. Okay, mind you, I also need to tell everybody watching out there, yes, the police have a control of handling crimes, okay? But it is also left for you and I to go out there and report cases, because it's also good to stop a crime before it happens, okay? And in terms of equipment, I think they are also lagging behind in equipment. Come to think of it, you will just see news out of the blue that 5 policemen were killed. In many cases, you find out that one, training, maybe they did not get good training, because how can sometimes, like the one that happened at Rumokoro in Port Harcourt, police convoy was moving with somebody that they were escorting, and the criminal just came and killed all the policemen, and there was no retaliation. So in such case, you will assume that those police officers were not well trained. Okay, because man, police in hard, see, you cannot just come and meet 5 police or 6 policemen making a trip, and kidnappers, sorry, I call them ordinary kidnappers, without training, will just come and just wipe away
people who have training,
policemen that have gone through series of trainings. Yes. Are you getting that?
It doesn't sound okay.
Yes, it doesn't sound good. And in terms of equipment, I also want this new head of police to equip the police. Help. I don't know how he's going to go about it, but he needs to, because in situations whereby, okay, let's say for instance in a crime scene where you have a kidnapper with an AK-47, yeah, one might even wonder, why would the kidnapper have AK-47? My brother, these guys also, due to the kind of ransom that they get.
Are you expecting them to come kidnap without, come on now,
and due to the kind of ransom they get, an AK now is about 1 million naira. Due to the ransom, they get up to 10 million, 20 million, 30 million.
Why can't they buy guns? Yes?
Of course, why can't they buy AK? So in terms of coming to a crime scene where you know that there is AK and you have a police officer with a pistol, how will you fight a person with an AK? An AK, I mean, we are talking about AK here, an AK that can go 30 rounds in less than 1 minute.
So if I get you correctly, you're saying that the mode of training of these security agencies has to be upgraded to
oh sure, and they need to be really equipped. Okay, you cannot go on a crime scene and kidnappers are using AK, and you don't have an AK to go against them.
Personally, I feel like even this AK we are mentioning has been outdated. It's even outdated because they are more sophisticated weapons. More than the AK.
I know. You cannot be talking about all those M4s and the rest. See, this is Nigeria. We are poor. Okay, monies that are also meant to.
I rebuke it.
Like Nigeria is a poor nation. 130 million people cannot feed, and you say that we are not poor. Oh, you are doing.
I'm not among the poor.
See, it is reality. We need to also face this reality. Nigerians are poor, okay, but that does not also mean that we should not find ways to equip our police. You cannot be in a crime scene where someone with the AK-47 is see. With an AK, sorry, I don't know whether I'm over educating people out there, but with an AK, if you have 30 persons here, let's just give within 90 seconds.
All should be going down.
All can go down. With one magazine of AK, you can take them down. Okay? So imagine in such scene, and mind you, how long, you now ask the question, how long can the police get to the crime scene? That's another issue. When you call up the police, they tell you that they don't have fuel. So a whole lot of things need to be done. So congratulations. He also made mention that he's coming out as a tiger, as a lion, that he cannot wait to come and fight crime.
Okay.
Oga, this is not just about your ginger. You need to put some sense to it.
Yes. All right, thank you, Mr. Victor, for your thoughts on that particular headline. Let's move over now to the Guardian newspaper for further headlines. And this one here says, the boldest headline in the Guardian says, proposed 114% pay rise for public officers complicates minimum wage negotiation. Proposed 114% pay rise for public officers complicates minimum wage negotiation. Okay. That's in the Guardian newspaper. And on page 3 here, this one says Nigeria needs state police to tackle insecurity, says ex-agric minister. Ogbe on page 3. Nigeria needs state police to tackle insecurity, says ex-agric minister. obey. That's on page 3. And still on page 3, this one says, why UK government banned the dependent visa for Nigerian students by High Commissioner. Why UK government banned dependent visa for Nigerian students by High Commissioner. That story is on page 3 as well of the Guardian newspaper. And still on page 3, we have PEPC. APM closes petition challenging Tinubu's victory. Court adjourns to July 14. PEPC. APM closes petition challenging Tinubu's victory. Court adjourns to July 14th. That's on page 3 as well. And over now to page 6 of the Guardian, we have Tinubu pushes for FDI as world leaders seek an inclusive financial system at Paris summit. Tinubu pushes for FDI as world leaders seek inclusive financial system at Paris summit. That's on page 6 of the Guardian newspaper. And on page, lastly now on page 8 of the Guardian, we have freed inmate narrates 14-year prison experience for not cooperating with policemen. Freed inmate narrates 14-year prison experience for not cooperating with policemen. That's on page 8 of the Guardian newspaper. That's the much we can take in the Guardian newspaper. I would love to talk about all the headlines here, but unfortunately, because of time, we are only permitted to talk about just one headline. So, Mr. Victor, please, I would like to get your thoughts on the boldest headline here in the Guardian newspaper, and that's on page 6. It says, proposed 114% pay rise for public officers complicates minimum wage negotiation. Please, how do you react to this?
It was more like a sad news yesterday when we got the report that it is being proposed that the president's salary will be increased from 3.5 million naira to 8 million naira. From 3.5 million naira monthly to 8 million naira. It was really sad when I got the news. Okay? Okay.
Times that in 1 year.
Now, well, the people that have the power to do this, that's the RMAFC, that's the Revenue Allocation and Monetary Fiscal Commission. They say that this is the first time of reviewing this is 2007. I understand that. Okay, since 2007 that they've not reviewed this. But you now ask the question, since that's 2007, how much revenue have we collected as a nation? Have we improved in our revenues? Do these public officers and political appointees, do they merit this increment in the detriment of the poverty that has ravaged the entire country in a period that Nigerians can't afford 2 square meal, in a period that you've added 7.5% VAT on diesel, in a period that the fuel price has increased by over 150%, in a time that minimum wage cannot even get you a bag of rice.
It's disheartening. It's really disheartening.
So, in all this, you also wonder, why would they also, beforehand, before this news came out, about 2 days ago, we got the news that 24 billion has been approved for these new National Assembly members for their housing, housing costs. 24 billion for a role that they are coming in as people that are coming to serve. You are coming to serve the country, but
It's
from
more
the
like,
back,
it's more like the country is serving you.
sure, the poor ones are the ones serving you right now. So what's the essence?
It's sad.
What's the essence? Why would you be coming out to say, I'm coming to serve my people? So, in a country where you want to give a student loan, how much do you want to even use to start the student loan? 1 billion naira. And 24 billion is being proposed for the National Assembly housing, no, just housing. We're not talking about their salary, we're not talking about their furniture and co. So that's to tell you that we are not serious in this country. And mind you, if you go and check properly, You might also find out that it is these same National Assembly people that are the ones putting fire in for this agency to come out with this proposal. Because you also asked me, they need to recover their money.
That is spent?
Yes. They have people that will be on their neck, that they promise heaven and earth, that they will start paying monthly. So they need more money to service their promises. So at the end of the day, you just begin to wonder, are we serious? Yes, and are we serious in this country? I don't think we are serious, because these persons are meant to serve us. So 114% increment, my brother, in a time that, okay, look at how quickly they were able to bring out these figures. But look at what will happen with increasing this minimum wage. Before you know it, this minimum wage might get to, it might take even 4 years before they increase it. That's after they have been dragging up and down. The labor might come out with 200% increment. Before you know it, they might drag it, and at the end of the day, might just get only 30 or 20% increment. Very shameful from.
Just before we go on a short break, Mr. Victor, I would like to get your thoughts, your views on a particular claim by a friend of mine that says that the law of this country was made to favor only the bourgeoisie.
Oh, sure.
How true is this statement?
Oh, sure. From what is happening now, how can you come as a senator? You are already rich. For you to vie for that post of, you're already rich. So how can you come in a country that poverty is dealing with us? Our revenue has gone so down, and you are now coming in to pack the remaining revenue that is remaining.
Increase your salaries.
And increase your salaries. It does not make sense. We're already talking that the cost of governance is so high. We're thinking that as this government is coming in, it should be the front burner. As you have removed subsidy on forex, you've removed subsidy on fuel, you've increased the cost of electricity. Mind you, I did not say that, by 40%.
Yes.
You've added 7.5 VAT on diesel, and that might also
are struggling to survive right now. We are all on survival mode at the moment.
It's really crazy.
It's crazy.
So all this is just to enrich the rich, while the poor gets poorer.
So is it now surprising that a lot of persons actually want to leave this country, or should I use the word jackpot from this country?
Oh, sure now. Sure. Where are the jobs? Where are the jobs? The atmosphere is not conducive.
And they want to pass a bill that would not allow doctors to leave the country out, especially before 5 years.
That one, they can't try it. Nigerians will stay jackpot. The Nigerians that we know, they will stay jackpot. Yes, now they go to Cameroon, go to Benin Republic, from there and leave.
Okay, thank you so much for staying faithful to your screen up until this time. We'll go on a break right now, and when we return, we'll take our last paper for the day and we'll call it a day. Please stay tuned.
Hey there! Are you looking to record your videos, do your voiceovers, and take your professional pictures? Look no further. With our state-of-the-art newsroom, photography, kitchen for our food content creators, and exclusive children's studio, we certainly can deliver the best studio experience. Our carefully designed studio space can bring your diverse creative content ideas to life. We aim to consistently serve value to our customers far and wide. Come, let Tharv Media give life to your dreams. Tharv Media, a slice of infotainment.
So you're welcome back from that short break, and still on the newspaper review, we shall be taking a look at the Leadership newspaper. We have some interesting headlines here in the Leadership, and I'll be starting with the one here on page 4, which happens to be the boldest headline in the Leadership. What does it say? It says investors upbeat as British government backs Tinubu's reforms. Investors upbeat as British government backs Tinubu's reforms. UK sees Nigeria as a big opportunity for investments. Shetima, British envoy, discuss palliatives over subsidy removal. Okay, you can catch all the details of this headline on page 4 of the Leadership newspaper. And on page 12 now, this one says, Mawa warns against stigmatization of drug abusers. Mawa warns against stigmatization of drug abusers. That's on page 12 of the Leadership newspaper. And on page 6 now of the Leadership, we have Tinubu INEC kick as Obi tenders PVC's from 32 states. Tinubu INEC kick as OB tenders PVCs from 32 states. Okay, details of this is on page 6 of the leadership. And on page 18 now, we have 15 killed in fresh plateau attacks. 15 killed in fresh plateau attacks. That's on page 18 of the leadership newspaper. And over now to page 7 of the leadership, we have Lagos Chamber seeks tax cut over rising food costs. Lagos Chamber seeks tax cut over rising food costs. Okay, that's on page 7 of the leadership. And still on page 7, we have RMAFC denies increasing salaries of president, senators, and others. RMAFC denies increasing salaries of presidents, senators, and others. Okay, that's on page 7 of the leadership newspaper. And on page 7, still on 7, we have agreement. We are giving president time, says ASU. Agreement. We are giving president time, says ASU. That's on page 7. And lastly, in the leadership for today, on page 12, we have Hajj, NAHCON, to operate 18 clinics in Muna, Arafat. Okay, that's on page 12 of the leadership newspaper. Lots of interesting headlines here in the leadership newspaper, and of course, if you let me, I would like to address all of them, but because of time, we'll be looking at just one headline here. So, Mr. Victor, please, the news here on page 6 of the leadership seems to be very interesting. It's about Tinubu and INEC kicking as OB tenders PVCs from 32 states. Please let me get your reaction to this headline.
So, the proceedings are there. So yesterday, the P2B's representatives were in court and they tendered 32 PVCs, 32 states PVCs, okay, to show the number of PVCs that were collected. I don't mean the hardware, the solid PVC itself, but they brought in documents to show that these PVCs were collected, just so that they can also tally it with the number of PVCs collected. Okay, and just as usual, INEC and Tinubu, INEC and APC were objecting that evidence. Okay, but after much argument, the court admitted that evidence, and we are hoping by today that they will be able to give reasons. I mean, APC and INEC, they will be able to give reasons why they are objecting the admission of those evidence or exhibits. So it now goes down to the issues that we are talking about. Festus Okoye, that is the publicist of INEC, also came out yesterday to make his point loud with respect to the Amazon witness that came around, that was a witness some days back. And Festus Okoye also reiterated the point that electronic transmission was part of the guidelines, but unfortunately that there were hitches. So I don't know who the court will believe this time around, because the Amazon representative is saying one thing, that there was no hitch on their server, but INEC are saying that they had hitches. Okay, so who do we believe in this time? So it's now left for the judges to make the decision. But aside that, from tomorrow or latest Monday, we'll have APC and APC, INEC and Tinubu. Mind you, Tinubu is the second respondent in all this. So these three parties will be able to come and defend all these exhibits and the cases that have been made against them. But if you also go out and check from the side of Atiku, mind the Atiku is also confident. The hearings are going down. Before we know it, it should be at its end. But if you also check from the side of Atiku, he's also very confident in all these cases, on all these exhibits that has been brought in. You find out that he's also gathering his own, will I say, momentum to show that, oh, I am the winner of all these. But come to think of it, why are you laughing? Come to think of it, at the end of the day, it is also down to the judiciary. It is also down to the judges out
play their roles.
to play their roles. The evidences are increasing and increasing by the day, and we don't know. We don't know, Mr. Sere, how this will end. But lastly, there are also news out there saying how P2B has responded to this increment of wages
Salaries.
for political office holders. He has also, and mind you, he's that one that is always against the high cost of governance.
But the
this country.
RMAFC are denying they did not increase any.
No. What they are saying is that for the past, I think, 16 years, since 2007 and 2023, it should be 16 years. That for the past 16 years, they've not been able to increase these numbers. Mind you, that in 2007, that the president has been earning 3.5 million. That money should be increased to 80 million. So, and also, P2B also made mention about the Japa movement. Okay, he is on his own side. He's also saying that the Japa movement is important. It's important to Nigeria. Reason, because that there should be also exchange of knowledge and exchange of wealth. That he knows that some Nigerians out there, when they go over, they are going over to say that I'm done with Nigeria. But with time, you know that some Nigerians also want
for good.
they will also want to come back to showcase what they have learned. And mind you, in the world of technology, if you check, Chinese and the Indians are also taking over. Why? Because of they migrated to the US or they migrated to the Western world, and that is why they are the ones heading most of these technological companies. Be it Facebook, you have Indian in their board of directors. Recently, we had an Indian woman heading Twitter. So I think he's making a point out there, because at the end of the day, it's also more like good return. It comes out as good returns for Nigeria.
All right. So just before I draw the curtain on today's episode of the newspaper review, Mr. Victor, there are lots of opinions out there. People saying all sorts about, the court case going on right now, to really, really question Tinubu's leadership of this country. And there are lots of people who believe that Peter Obi is fighting. Peter Obi and Atiku are both fighting the lost battle already. So I want to know from you, in your innermost mind, from the way you're observing things, and from the way you know this country to be, is Peter Obi and Atiku really fighting the lost battle?
Personally, I would say since 1999, people have been going for cases like this. This is not new. Okay, so you ask the question, how has the courts fared since 1999 till date? It's been about the person that INEC announces is always the winner. Okay, so personally, it will be shocking.
Even with all these evidences coming out.
Even with all these evidence, I'll be highly shocked.
Tinubu finally getting to lose the office of the
I do not see that to happen, because the judges.
So you are agreeing that Obi and Atiku are fighting the lost battle?
Maybe that would be too hard. That would be too hard of a statement to use. Okay, but I'll be shocked. Not that I'm 100% in doubt of the decision of the court, but I'll be in shock because of the antecedents. Yes, Akpororo has also made his point. Akpororo made his point, and people are really bashing him. Okay, maybe the way the style of delivery from him did not go well to the masses out there. But it will be shocking. It will be record breaking. Are we ready to have that record breaking news that either P2B or Atiku will now become the new president of Nigeria? I don't think we are ready for that as a nation.
Why do you feel you are not ready for that?
Because it will cause so much crisis.
Why so much crisis? If proven that truly you're not supposed to be the president.
So just imagine what will happen in Lagos. Imagine what will happen in Lagos. During the presidential election, you saw what happened. That the fact that P2B and his people won Lagos in the presidential election. You saw the rage, you saw the violence that erupted. What then will happen?
So if actually we get to that point where, like according to you, the violence and all of that, because of if it happens that eventually Tinubu, was found guilty of all the charges and all of that, so he's been made to come down as the president and give way for either or Peter Obi or Atiku. If he actually gets to that point and then because of that decision by the court, it causes the least of violence, then what is the essence? What is now the point of all this going to court if eventually, if the court decides to say, okay, Tinubu, step aside and give way for either Obi or Tinubu or Atiku? If you get to that point, what is now the essence of all of this practice, of all of this going to court and all of that?
For me, we are documenting we are documenting whatever is happening in Nigeria right now. Maybe that's just for, maybe what is happening now is just for history, for us
But
to
it doesn't
document
make sense because
facts
it doesn't make sense.
or timelines.
If we both go to court, it's because for something, for an issue, it's because we believe that, okay, whatever the court decides, I'll respect the decision and stay and keep my cool. Not when the court decides something and then you now decide to fight. Then that means the court has no power. That means the court doesn't have enough power. Yes, I don't know how you see it, but personally, I feel like if we are going to go to court for any reason, it's because we believe, okay, whatever the court decides, we're going to live by it and respect the decision. Not when the court says, okay, Mr. B is the owner of this property, and then Mr. A decides to cause riot or cause nuisance everywhere. It doesn't make one bit of sense. So, but anyways, I think, like you said, we just need to keep our fingers crossed and see how things pan out at the end of the day. Thank you so much, Mr. Victor, for your time with me on the program today. I really do want to say a big thank you to you too, my wonderful viewers who have been faithful. But this is the end of the newspaper review for today. Please, if you're yet to subscribe, like I said before, click subscribe, okay, and follow us on our different social media platforms. You can check us out on YouTube. On YouTube, we are Tab TV on YouTube. On Instagram, Tab TV_NG. On Facebook and Twitter, we are Tab TV. Cyril Aloysius is my name, and I'm saying from wherever you are, thanks for watching, and bye-bye for now.